Tonight on STN Channel 2 News, credit card holders are baffled as to how their card numbers are getting stolen without them knowing. We have information that can help keep your information safe.
And these posters have been put up all over campus. Find out what they are all about.
Also, one university professor has been named to RateMyProfessor.com's top 20 professors list. Stay tuned to find out who. STN Channel 2 News starts right now. Good evening and thank you for tuning in to STN Channel 2 News live in HD. I'm Scott Roberts.
And I'm Desiree Roberts.
We have breaking news out of Marysville, Washington. 3 students are dead, including the gunman, after a shooting that took place early Friday morning at Marysville-Pilchuck High School. Officials have not yet released the names of the victim or the gunman, but say the student opened fire inside the school's cafeteria. 4 other students were wounded in the shooting before the gunman took his own life, according to law enforcement. We'll have more developments on this story as they become available online at stn2.tv and on our Facebook and Twitter pages. Also breaking, police have confirmed that the body of University of Virginia student Hannah Graham has been identified and found. Graham went missing on September 13th and was last seen on surveillance footage with Jesse L. Matthew Jr., who has since been charged with abduction and attempt to defile Graham. The human remains found this past Saturday on abandoned property were confirmed to be that of the 18-year-old, according to police. We'll have more on as this story develops.
Now, many credit card holders have no idea how their information can be stolen through credit card skimming, so STN went to find out more. Card skimming is a growing problem that has been going on for many decades all over the world.
Card skimming is a procedure they use to get information from your credit card. Usually card skimming is they would put like a magnetic strip on a ATM or stuff like that, and they would record all your information.
Then these strips are removed from the ATMs and personal information is taken from them. Although card skimming is not directly affecting the University of Hartford's community as of now, Special Investigator Henry wants all students to be aware and careful.
Card skimming could happen just about anywhere as long as there's an outside ATM. It could happen there because outside ATM is where a person could actually monitor you from across the street.
Protecting yourself from your credit card information being stolen is very complex at times, but there are a few steps people should try to take.
Most of the time, we suggest that you use an inside ATM, which is more hard for them to get to and put a skimmer on it and to remove it.
Also, using your credit card at restaurants, gas station ATMs, and online may lead to other security breaches as well. Users should make sure the ATM comes from a specific bank.
They're vulnerable for people to walk up. No one's monitoring an outside ATM. No one's really monitoring the ATM in a gas station. And when they go to put the skimmer on it, probably no one's looking. That's why it's easy for them to attack those 2 places.
All credit card owners should be sure to keep track of their receipts and web accounts.
Catherine Black was officially named Dean of the College of Arts and Sciences this past week. Black has served as interim dean of A&S since last January. In a letter, President Harrison said she has served the University of Hartford in multiple administrative roles with distinction, and this appointment as dean reflects the confidence that Provost Sharon Vasquez and I have in Black's leadership abilities.
RateMyProfessors.com released a list of the nation's top professors and universities based entirely on students' input, and Hartford is on that list. Dr. Laura Pence, a chemistry professor in the College of Arts and Sciences, sits at number 20 on the list. Many students left positive reviews, such as, quote, "She is always willing to help you in any way possible and manages to make pretty hard source material extremely easy to comprehend."
One of the big threats on college campuses to students is domestic abuse and sexual assault. However, the No More campaign is trying to change that. Here's STN reporter Nick Woodfin.
Students have noticed the increase of flyers among campus, but many are wondering, what exactly is No More?
No More is a national campaign to help bring attention and awareness to domestic violence and sexual assault prevention, specifically on, for us, college campuses, actually, because we're a college campus, but also on a national stage, just so people are aware that it happens, its prevalence, how to prevent it, and that we're not going to stand for it anymore.
Since its arrival to campus, the University of Hartford's student body have joined the campaign to stand up and say, "No more."
residential life, Greek life, any student organization, athletes. So there's a lot of student involvement. Faculty are going to come out and other staff for the university as well.
No More, however, is not just for colleges and universities, but for everyone across the country.
It actually started through the NFL. I don't know if you watch Law & Order, but the actress Mariska Hargitay, this is her kind of brainchild in her nonprofit, and she organized it as a response to help end domestic violence and sexual violence on a national scale.
With help from celebrities like Amy Poehler, Courtney Cox, Ice-T, and more, the hope is that the nation can raise awareness to stop domestic violence and for everyone to say,
"No more, he didn't mean it."
No more, not my problem.
No more, she seems just fine to me. No more, she should have been more careful.
Nick Woodfin, STN, Channel 2 News.
For more information on the No More campaign, go to stn2.tv, or you can also visit nomore.org.
Now, I know that we've noticed the rain last week and all the different weather that we've experienced, but we want to know what's going on for next week. So, Matt, take it away.
Well, thank you, Scott and Desiree. This week has been very gloomy and cold, especially with the nor'easter that came through on Wednesday and Thursday. Will Mother Nature be bringing us better weather this weekend? Stay tuned to 2.
I certainly hope so. Thank you, Matt. Coming up, we'll take a look at On Your Toes, a production of the Hart School, and details on what it's about and how you can get in to see it.
And SCA is making some changes regarding live music at Hawks Nest. See what they have in store.
Also, thousands of students rioted on the streets of Keene, New Hampshire over the weekend. State police had to step in. We'll have a live update. All that and more coming up on STN Channel 2 News.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
And now, your STN2 weather forecast.
And welcome back to the Weather Desk. I'm Matt Brown. This week's weather featured a lot of rain and cloudy skies. However, the sun will be back in the forecast this upcoming week. But before we get into that, let's look at the weather outside today. As you can see, it was quite gloomy again this Friday morning. However, as the day progressed, the sun actually peeked out again, and it just felt like a normal and beautiful fall day. As we look into the maps, we can see up here that tonight's weather forecast is actually going to be quite chilly today as a nice cold fall night. So remember to get your coats on. For this Saturday, we'll see it's going to be quite warm in the high 60s. So remember to go outside, throw the football around, and wear that nice sweater that your grandmother got you. As you look into Sunday, it's going to be the same thing in the lower 60s. It's not going to be that much of a problem, but it surely will be nice outside with sunny skies. As you look into the forecast, we can see Friday's going to feature it's going to be a bit rainy tonight. This weekend's going to be nice and cloudy. Watch out for that windy day on Sunday. As you go into Monday and Tuesday, the sun will be out with higher temperatures. Wednesday it's going to rain in the upper 70s, and Thursday is going to end it off with a nice cloudy day at 61 degrees.
I gotta go check my mailbox again. I think my grandmother may have sent that sweater to me, but I need to be sure.
How wonderful.
I'll get it for you.
Oh,
Thank you,
thanks,
Ms. Roberts.
Matt. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Now, the Hart School opened with the musical On Your Toes Wednesday at Lincoln Theater, and STN's Krista Gray went to find out more.
It's 1935, it's East meets West. They are obviously white Russians. They knew the Tsar before he was killed.
On Your Toes is about how the performing arts can bring people together by providing great entertainment.
It's a play, it's a musical, obviously, and it's really a grand celebration of probably the oldest form of human expression, which is music, dance, and storytelling, or theater. And it brings them all together in one extraordinarily exciting event.
On Your Toes features a collaboration between the Hart School's instrumental studies, dance, and theater programs. Altogether, there are about 120 Hart students working together on this production.
It's rarely done, if ever, in a school, because there aren't many schools that have the students with that type of expertise. But because the University of Hartford has an elite performing arts school, such as the Hart School, we're able to get the students to pull it off.
The upcoming shows let audiences of different backgrounds enjoy the show.
Even if you're not a great fan of ballet, it's thrilling, and you can't go to the football game at the University of Hartford, so why not come and see the students do something like this?
Krista Gray, STN Channel 2 News.
There will be 2 more performances on Friday at 7:30 p.m. and Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. Tickets are free for students with their university ID. They can be bought at the university box office. Go to stn2.tv to find out more.
The University Commons isn't the only thing that changed over the summer. SCA, and Hawks Nest Programming have been working hard to turn the restaurant into a live venue for music, entertainment, and more.
A new look, and a new sound as well. The Student Center's administration and Hawks Nest Programming have begun booking bands for the Hawks Nest venue for student entertainment and enjoyment.
I'd say one of the big things is just having more, trying to do more of a variety. Usually you find hip hop or rock bands that come through, but I'm trying to open it up to, jazz bands, something that people don't really see before. I'm also in the works of trying to have a magician come through.
The McLovins, West End Blend, and this past week, Fight the Fear and The Guru are just some of the bands that have hit the Hawks Nest stage, letting students grab a bite to eat and enjoy the tunes.
Because there are no more meals, not many people come there as often, but that's why I kind of want to change with the environment, is people don't come for the food and stay for the music. I want people to come and stay for the music alone, I want to have enough so that people know that, Hawks Nest is hopping every day.
With a large variety of musical groups to come in the future, Howard says he wants to change the way students think about the performances from uninterested to excited.
I remember being a stigma before, being that, Hawks Nest, they just have lame shows. I was like, no, we have great shows. We get good artists on that, and we want to appeal to everybody, not just one crowd. We want everybody to be able to come to the Hawks Nest and have a good time.
Any student bands interested in performing at Hawks Nest can contact Howard directly. You can find that information on our website, stn2.tv. Next on 2, Quinnipiac released a poll this past week about how the Connecticut gubernatorial race is heating up.
And another person in the U.S. has been diagnosed with Ebola. We have the details.
Also, week 3 of our election coverage continues. We take a look this week at who's running for New Hampshire Senate. We'll be right back.
And Shelter Pets make super pets. Your new best friend will steal your heart, bring you happiness, and enrich your life for years to come. You can make a difference in the life of an animal. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You're watching STN Channel 2 News.
Welcome back from the break. Now, a Quinnipiac poll released this past week finds the Connecticut gubernatorial race in a dead heat. The poll shows incumbent Daniel Malloy with 43% of the vote and Republican candidate Tom Foley with 42%. The 2014 campaign has been one of the most heated in history, with negative ads flooding voters' televisions. The winner will be decided on Election Day, which is November 4th.
With election 2014 only days away, the races all across the country are certainly coming down to the wire, including up north in the Granite State. STN's Rachel Sisto joins us now with the race for New Hampshire's Senate seat. Rachel, good evening. First off, tell us, who's running for Senate in New Hampshire?
Well, the two candidates are incumbent Senator Jean Shaheen and her Republican challenger Scott Brown. Now, while Shaheen and Brown haven't faced off in an election before, both have actually served in the U.S. Senate. Jean Shaheen was elected to her seat back in 2008, while Scott Brown was a senator in Massachusetts after winning a special election in 2009. Brown then lost his seat in 2012 to Elizabeth Warren.
So both certainly have the experience with the incumbent and the opponent, but how are the candidates stacking up so far?
The race itself is very, very close. Most polls are placing Shaheen ahead, but not by very much. She holds an average 3-point lead over Brown. There are only 6 polls where she doesn't have the edge, 3 where the candidates are tied, and 3 that give Brown a 1-point lead.
Now, it seems like a very common trend throughout the U.S., a very close race. So on another topic, and dare I ask, what's the tone of the campaign? Is it good?
Perhaps not surprisingly, no, it is not. It is overall pretty negative. Both Shaheen and her supporters have latched on to Brown's recent move up from Massachusetts. Listen to this clip from a recent debate, and you'll see what I mean.
You know, Senator Brown, when he lost his race, he didn't move to New Hampshire and say, I want to get involved in this state. He thought about running for the Senate again in Massachusetts. Then he thought about running for governor in Massachusetts. Then he went out to Iowa and said he was thinking about running for president. Well, I don't think New Hampshire's a consolation prize.
Now, Brown, meanwhile, has based much of his campaign on Senator Shaheen's voting record, even commenting at one point that she, quote, outsourced her independence by voting with President Obama 99% of the time.
And we thought the race here in Connecticut was getting ugly. Wow. So what are the candidates focusing most on when they're out on the campaign trail?
You know, the candidates are spending most of their time pointing out how completely different their views are in just about everything from ISIS to Ebola. Now, as Election Day draws nearer, New Hampshire voters have 2 very different candidates before them. And while it does look that Senator Shaheen will keep her seat, it's very much anybody's game.
Certainly anybody's game with elections coming up very soon. Rachel Sisto with the latest on the Senate election in New Hampshire. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
On Thursday, October 23rd, another person in the United States tested positive for Ebola. Dr. Craig Spencer was isolated Thursday in Bellevue Hospital in New York after returning from a trip to Guinea. He arrived back in the U.S. Friday the 17th, but did not develop Ebola-like symptoms until late Thursday morning. Health officials said Spencer was previously in contact with other individuals but had no symptoms. Mayor Bill de Blasio said New Yorkers should not be alarmed.
A frightening scene out of Keene, New Hampshire, just down the street from Keene State College. STN's Kim Bigelow is live in the studio with more. Kim, good evening.
Yeah, Scott, what was supposed to be the town's annual pumpkin festival, well, it turned into a violent weekend of student riots. The destructive behavior started in the afternoon on Saturday, October 18th. 2 large gatherings with about 1,000 students each formed on Wilcox Terrace in Winchester Court. Students from Keene State College and others visiting from surrounding schools began acting out violently, ripping out street signs, throwing beer bottles and beer cans, and chanting in the streets. And on Saturday night, a fire was set on Blake Street. State police in full riot gear lined both ends of the road, blocking any students from entering the crowd. Many injuries were reported and dozens of arrests were made. Police used tear gas and guns containing rubber bullets to clear out the huge crowds. And on Sunday morning, residents and Keene State students headed out to the streets to begin the cleanup. With cars flipped, dumpsters rolled out into the roads and debris everywhere. The town mourned what was the worst Pumpkin Fest weekend in history.
It is far too early to determine what the future of the Pumpkin Fest is going to be. That is going to be the responsibility of the organizers and the Keene City Council as they assess the events of this year and the future of the festival and determine what that future is to be.
Keene State College President Ann Hewitt sent out several emails to the student body, with one stating that officials will be, quote, identifying those, whether associated with Keene State or not, whose behavior has caused this disruption, and will be bringing those individuals through the college's judicial system or legal channels. I'm Kim Bigelow, STN Channel 2 News. Now back to you guys at the desk.
So everything seems pretty good with the world. I'm being sarcastic, of course. We have political officials being crazy. We have college students being crazy. I didn't know that we were that crazy.
A lot's been going on.
Clearly.
People are people.
I guess.
What do you expect?
And now we are going to go on to crazy sports. I guess we have the right person for the job, Brendan Madonia.
I was about to say crazy.
Something like that.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Brendan Madonia. Coming up, we have the men's soccer team. We talked to them about their season, got their thoughts, plus we have a little bit of fair or foul action for you. So stay where you are because sports is next.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
A runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And now, your Channel 2 Sports.
And welcome back. The women's soccer team is looking to finish out their season against Vermont. But first, they had to get through conference rival Stony Brook on Thursday. Let's take a look at the board and see how they did. And as you see, no one is able to score. The Seawolves goalie Ashley Castaño finishing with 9 saves in the game through the whole 110 minutes. Meanwhile, her team can only manage 1 shot towards the net, coming off the foot of Shannon Grogan. Hawk striker Sydney Spermulo and Chanel Johnson finished with 3 shots and 2 shots on goal, respectively. And the team, of course, finishing with 9 shots on goal. So what does this mean for the standings? Well, let's take a look. As you see, a big shakeup in the standings now in the conference, as the Lady Hawks are now tied with UMBC for the top seed. Albany and UNH are tied for 3rd, and Stony Brook and Binghamton also have a tie for 6th. Now, with just 1 game left in the season, Hartford will take on last place Vermont as the Hawks try to hang on to the number 1 spot. As the men's soccer team season is coming to an end, things are heating up in the AE as positions 2 through 6 are separated by just 1 point. Our Greg Engelman talked to the team about their thoughts of their year.
As the Hawks men's soccer season comes to an end, they are 7-5-2, as opposed to last season's record of 13-4-4. The biggest factor in this change most likely is the loss of the team's 3 captains over the offseason.
Every year the team changes, it's never the same, so it's college sports, we'd like to sign Damian Lowe's and Anthony Santagas to 10-year contracts, but we can't do it. So we know we're going to lose guys, and this year the biggest difference has just been goal scoring.
Players feel like despite a rough season, they are still improving to finish the year strong.
We had a bit of a lackadaisical mentality earlier on, but coach is focused on changing our mentality, and right from the start, like we have a couple goals earlier in the games, and so coach made it a big. He's really stressed it in practice that we got to come out a lot harder and make a big difference in the beginning of the game.
Coach and Barry both have similar feelings. The fact that the AE championship is still in sight despite being 5th in the standings.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously we're going into Vermont, which is the biggest game of the year for us right now, because they're 1 point ahead of us in the league, and they're in second, only 1 point ahead. So as we sound like 5th is far away, but it's really, 2 through 5 or 6 is really 1 or 2 points separated. So one game's going to make a difference.
Greg Engemann, STN Channel 2 Sports.
All right, thanks, Greg. And now a look at the men's standings as they had the week off. They get ready for the Vermont Catamounts. As you see, UMBC is up on top of the standings like they were last year. Vermont sits in second, tied with UMass Lowell. Meanwhile, Hartford and Binghamton are close for 4th. Now, like I said earlier, positions 2 through 6 are separated by just 1 point, which means with a win, Hartford could potentially jump up to 2nd place in the standings. And with the World Series already underway and both teams having 1 game apiece, it looks like it could go either way. So it's time for a little fair or foul action as we bring in Alex Young and see who he thinks will get the ring. Now, Alex, the floor is yours.
You know what? I think this is going to be a pretty short series this year. I have the San Francisco Giants winning in 5 games. That's right. They stopped a very hot Kansas City Royals game in Game 1. Although they came out flat in the second one, they are now heading home. It's looking very positive for them right now. They play amazing at home. I see that they take these 2 games to their advantage and win it all.
Home field advantage honestly means nothing anymore in the MLB. The Royals are really hot. Yeah, they really struggled in Game 1, but then you saw it in Game 2 on Wednesday. They just destroyed the Giants' bullpen. I don't know how the Giants can win in 5 games if they cannot hold on to a lead.
I think that they're going to hold on to the lead.
I don't think so. You have to deal with Billy Butler. They have to deal with Kane. I don't think that they will have, and also don't forget about Hosmer too. They have 3 big powerhouses that can just.
But you also have to look at the Giants. They have 3 big powerhouses coming in. They have Hudson, and then they're going to have Bumgarner for Game 5. Is looking like they're having 2
but
strong
then you
pitchers.
also have Ventura for the Royals, who is amazing on Wednesday. Yeah, he only went 5 innings, but he has that high.
But you
90s
have to understand.
fastball.
I think the Giants are a better team at home, and they've
think
proven
so.
that they could win in a hostile situation. Look how they're hitting right now. They're hitting very well on the road.
No, they're not.
Pablo Sandoval had a big game in Game 1.
He's had a good
Hunter Pence
postseason,
had
but
a
he has
pretty
been struggling
solid game.
I
think the pitchers are a lot better than the Royals. I think they have a lot more experience. They have a lot more veterans coming in. They have the freak Lincecum, potentially the Game 4 or 5 pitcher. He could still come in. We don't know yet. It's all up in the air. I think that they have a better chance at winning than the Royals.
All right, so you say Giants, I say Royals. I guess we'll just agree to disagree. Thanks, Alex. And now it's time to, first off, the women's basketball team just announced a new member to the squad of part of the Team Impact Initiative. That was on Wednesday. Zoe Brown will be attending the practices and the games for the team. For the full story, you can visit our YouTube page. That's www.youtube.com/STN Channel 2 News. Now it's time to take a look at the upcoming games here on campus. Well, as you saw earlier, there are none. So go outside and enjoy the weather. I know it's going to be a little bit cold out, but it's still able to go out there and just get some fresh air, I guess.
That's expected in the fall, so
Absolutely.
it's finally time to put away the shorts, even though I was wearing shorts today and people said I was crazy.
I wore shorts today, it was fine.
That's
So
true.
I
was running in my
today,
suit. I figured running in a suit and tie and dress pants and best way to do it. If
track
anyone's
suit.
looking out there, you want to do a good workout.
You set a prime example.
Suits, they say suits are like track suits.
I would watch out, by the way. Alex Young, he's pretty feisty in those fair fouls.
I saw that. I got scared.
Remember what happened to me last year?
Yes, I did.
Picked the Sharks, and I was like, yeah, Sharks.
I know.
That ended badly.
I mean, the World Series this year, I think, is probably one of the best in recent years. The Giants, of course, making it again this year, but I think the Royals can bring up a good challenge. I thought originally the Orioles were going to make it, and they kind of, went downhill, but they also had some big injuries. So I think the Royals might have a shot. I say 7 games, Royals. We'll get it. So we'll go full 7 games.
Matter.
I know nothing.
It's all about. This is a Cinderella team. We're about to see some baseball history.
Matt Brown. So I'm feeling a KC advantage.
KC all the way.
Wow.
This is it. They have such a young team that's come out of nowhere they have much power.
That's true.
Getting hits all over the place, and they've proven themselves that they can beat the best AL team and the best runner-up AL team. Now they will beat the best NL team and make history, the first World Series in 29 years.
He makes the case.
Power, such wow. I'm feeling a little Doge action coming in there. So maybe
Eric
that's
Hosmer.
what we're talking about.
Eric Hosmer's coming out, and he's making, I'm going to say, World Series MVP.
Now, one thing I forgot that Alex, I'm surprised didn't mention, is that the Giants have made it to the World Series on every even year and won it.
You never know. Never know.
That's true. They know how to win in the playoffs.
Thank you for joining us for STN Channel 2 News. I'm Scott Roberts.
And I'm Desiree Roberts. We'll see you next week.